I have been trying to increase my testosterone for a few years now. I do that because of the boost in energy I get, because of the increased muscle growth I get, because of the primal confident mindset I get, and also because I like feeling horny. Having eye tests also makes you look more like a man. Instead of looking like a woman by having wide hips, small shoulders, and a rounded jaw, well, you start having a smaller waist, wider shoulders, and a squared jaw. And the key to getting high testosterone isn't by adding stuff onto your life. It's not by taking different supplements. It's actually by subtracting certain things from your current life. A few people will know already what I'm talking about. And I am talking about estrogenics, the toxic substance that deregulate your endocrine system. And the reason why there's such an important fertility crisis at the moment, it is because of estrogenics. So if you ever planned or you dreamed of having children in your life, pay close attention to this video because this subject goes deep. Estrogenics are basically artificial estrogen. So in your body, they act as estrogen and they deregulate your endocrine system and therefore decrease your testosterone. This is transforming men into women, causing massive health issues, causing infertility, and also causing mental health problems. Okay, so I'll list on the screen some of the worst estrogenics. You'll probably have seen some of them before, and I'm gonna give you 13 action steps you can take to avoid those estrogenics. I'll start off with what I considered the easiest action step to take, and as we progress into the video, action steps will get harder and harder and maybe even more expensive. The first action step is to stop using shampoo. Now, hear me out, it's not gross at all. Shampoo always got a bunch of parabens and plenty of other estrogenic substance in it. I haven't shampooed for like almost a year now, and I went to my hairstylist recently and she told me I had perfect hair. My hair was super healthy, they were clean, and they smelled good. Shampoo is basically a scam. It destroys your scalp and it makes your scalp overproduce certain oils, and therefore you need to use more shampoo. So stop using shampoo, and instead, if you find that your hair smells kind of bad, so you cannot simply wash it with water, well, you could use some organic soap instead and put it in your hair. The second action step is to stop drinking and eating from plastic. So this means when you go at school, instead of using a plastic water bottle, use a stainless steel one. And for your meals, let's say you usually package your meals in those plastic containers. Well, instead, go for the glass containers. There are some great glass containers with a plastic top, of course, but since the food is only touching the glass, it's fine. And when you eat up plastic next to the food, it's even worse. The plastic starts leaking even more into the food. And same thing for when you drink water. If you were to bring a plastic water bottle at school and you would let it like eat up, let's say on the sun, well, the plastic will start leaking a bunch into your water. And in plastics, there are BPA, BPS, and phthalates, and those three things are estrogenics. So instead of using plastics, start using steel or glass stuff. Stop consuming soy and flax, and stop using anything that has lavender or cannabis. The 4 plants I just mentioned to you create artificial estrogens called phytoestrogens, and those plants are 1,000 times more phytoestrogenic than the average plant. So whenever you start eating something, try to see if there's soy or flax in it, and when you use products, try to avoid anything that has the lavender scent. And believe me or not, in one of the pomade I used to buy, there was cannabis in it, which is a estrogenic substance. So avoid all of those. The 4th action step is to avoid all vegetables and fruits that are not organic. Now, if you cannot do that, there's a simple way to fix it, and it's simply by washing all your fruits. Now, even if you were to buy organic fruits, I would still recommend washing your fruits. Now, to wash your fruits and vegetables, what you do is basically you put them in a bowl, and then you put water in that bowl, and you put vinegar, and then you kind of just mix everything around. You let it rest for a few minutes, and then your vegetables and your fruits are clean. Because farmers use pesticides, and those pesticides, such as atrazine, are estrogenics. And those estrogenics, those pesticides, go on your food, and when you take the food and you eat it, you ingest the pesticide, and that deregulates your endocrine system. The fifth action step, and a bunch of guys will not like this one, is to stop using fragrance. In fragrances, there are hundreds of estrogenics. If you ever looked on the ingredient label of your fragrance, you would see that there's a bunch of substance that you didn't even know existed, such as parabens and benzophenone. And those two substances are extremely estrogenic. So instead of using your typical fragrance, try to find a natural one. There are plenty of natural options out there. Try to go for that. The sixth action step is to replace all your skincare products by natural products. Now, if you ever looked on the average skincare products such as CeraVe, well, you would see that in mostly all of them, there are stuff such as parabens and benzophenone. And those two things, like I said before, are estrogenics, and you're literally putting those onto your skin everywhere. So instead, just like with fragrances, aim for natural options such as oils to hydrate your skin, and there are natural cleanser out there if you want to use those. The seventh action step, just like the sixth one, is to replace all your current grooming products by natural ones. Now, what I do is, instead of using shaving cream, which has a bunch of benzophenones and parabens, well, I started using olive oil, basically before shaving, so my skin doesn't like get absolutely murdered by the blade. What I do is I put a bunch of olive oil, and then I start shaving, and it's super smooth, it doesn't hurt, and I don't get those red dots on my face. Also, like I said before, check your pomade, check your clay. Be careful what you put in your hair, because the things you put in your hair, they can leak through your scalp and go inside your blood and then affect your endocrine system. The eighth action step is to replace all your hygiene products by natural products. So most importantly, it's your soap. If you're using Dove soap, that shit is estrogenics. Like the grooming products and the skincare products, it has paraben and benzophenone. And also in your soap, there are usually things called triclocyan. And sometimes the brands don't even put it on the label. And triclocyan is called the soap estrogenic. And if you put that on your skin, I swear it will tank your testosterone levels. And if you wash yourself every day, you will be destroying your hormones every single day. So instead, go on Amazon, type natural organic soap, and you're gonna see that there's thousands of different options. The ninth action step is to avoid mold. Now, mold creates microestrogens, which basically come from the fungus of your mold. And to avoid mold, well, the first thing you can do is check around your house to see if there's mold somewhere. Usually in bathrooms is where there's the most amount of mold. So go check your bathrooms, and if you find mold, well, if it's only a little bit, you can try to clean it. Type online how to get rid of mold, and you're gonna see different options. But if you got a lot of mold, you might need to change your wall, and that can be hella expensive. The 10th action step is to avoid processed food. Now, this one is pretty simple. In processed food, there's a bunch of additives, and honestly, avoiding processed food is not only good for your hormonal profile, it's gonna be good for everything in your life. Because in processed food, I'm gonna give you an example. Maybe you're drinking a red juice. Well, in that red juice, there's probably red 40. And red 40 is a food coloring that is extremely estrogenic. And there's a bunch of things just like that in all the processed food. The 11th action step is to stop wearing plastic. Now, I realized a year ago that all my wardrobe, or almost, was all plastic. Now, my boxers were made of polyester, and polyester is basically plastic. And if you're sweating in your underwear, I do a lot of sports, so I always used to sweat in my underwear. Well, the polyester, since it's getting heated and it's sweaty, kind of leaks into your skin. So nowadays, I'm gonna show you, I've got 100% cotton boxers, Joe boxers, and they feel amazing. I don't know why I didn't use cotton boxers before. Also, your shirt and your pants, they have to be 100% cotton. This current shirt, I bought it, I looked on the label, 100% cotton. Okay, I can buy it. Same thing for my pants. You look on the label, does it say 100% cotton? If it doesn't, don't buy it. Now, at first, changing your whole wardrobe could be quite expensive. So instead of doing that, what you can do is from now on, every time you go buy something, make sure it's 100% cotton. The 12th action step, just like the 11th one, is to stop sleeping on plastic. Now, your bed sheets, they can be made of polyesters. And if it's made of polyesters, and just like your wardrobe, just like your shirt, just like your boxers, well, you're sleeping on plastic during the whole night, where there's phthalates, there's BPA, BPS, and those phthalates, they leak into your skin, destroy your hormones, you get it, right? So instead, aim for 100% cotton bed sheets, and those 100% cotton bed sheets, you're gonna figure out that they cost less than polyester bed sheets. So you might already have 100% bed sheets. Now the 13th action step, and what I believe to be one of the most important one, but can be quite expensive, is to only drink filtered water. Now, what do I mean by only drinking filtered water? Well, in your water, and even worse if you're in a big city, there's a bunch of estrogenics. There's things like EE2, which is basically the birth control hormone. When girls take the pill they take every single day to control their hormone, well, they kind of piss it and it doesn't get filtered out. Also, usually tap water comes from a PVC pipe, and that PVC pipe kind of gives phthalates to the water. So your water comes with a bunch of phthalates, EE2, fluoride, and other estrogenic substances that you don't want inside your water, that you're gonna be drinking every single day. So the first thing I did is, at my house, we had a Brita filter, so a charcoal filter, which basically filtered, let's say 60% of the bad shit that there was inside the water. But there were chemicals that were too tiny for the charcoal filter to filter them. So what I had to do is buy a reverse osmosis water filter. Now, I won't lie to you, those can cost like upwards to $500, $1,000, but they work so well and they filter out everything, so you get pure water. Now that's it for the 13 action steps, but from what you can see, usually the best way to avoid estrogenics is to live a natural life. Live like your caveman would live. Now all of this is in your control. You can start taking the right decisions today, and maybe it's gonna take a little bit of time, maybe it's gonna take a year or two, but if you start only taking the right decisions, maybe in a year or two, you're gonna live a natural life. Your house is all gonna be clean from estrogenic substance, you're gonna have a clean diet, and then you're gonna make sure that you're fertile so you can actually have children. You're gonna have a beautiful hormonal profile, making you feel so much better, increasing your muscle growth, increasing your mood, and it's gonna change your overall life. Now, I only talked about 10 different estrogenics in this video, and honestly the list goes on, and there's a bunch of current research that is being made on estrogenics. So I'll probably make another video like this in the future. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd be interested in one-to-one coaching with me, where basically hop on calls and do fun shit together, that's gonna be the first link in the description. And if you'd be interested in watching me and my little bro just next door work out together, we got this channel called Anabolic Monkeys. And on this channel, we basically post most of our workouts on there. So if you're interested in that, second link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah!